Welcome to the Ho-Ho Show.
Rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airwaves and strap in as we
defend the Constitution, because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. So welcome to the Ho-Ho Show. And as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho. How y'all's doing? I hope you're doing good. I really do. It has been, about a month since my last show? Holy crap. And guys, I'll tell you what, I was sick for about a week and a half. Congestion, cough, all that other kind of good stuff. So I really hadn't been on. I was actually feeling pretty decent last weekend, but I didn't get back until late on Saturday. It was like 6 or 7 o'clock. I don't know, but definitely not enough time to do a show. And then with Sunday being the Halloween extravaganza with Alex Exum, I couldn't take any of his thunder, so I didn't do a show on Sunday. So here I am, and there is just a lot of stuff to cover today. Holy crap, let me tell you. We've got some stuff to talk about with Loudoun County. Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci. We're going to be covering a little bit about this $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that the House passed. We're going to be talking about some payments to illegal aliens. We're going to be talking about capital gains taxes. We're going to be talking about tax cuts for the rich. We're going to be talking about Steele dossier, New Jersey, Virginia elections. We're going to be talking about the COP26, a little bit with Greta Thunberg, whatever the heck her name is. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to be covering a little bit about Biden. But we're going to start off right here with Let's Go Brandon. That's what we're starting off with today. Yes, I got to start the show off with, I guess, kind of a high point, but at the same time, I mean, this is just absolutely hilarious. It really is. Now, I don't know if you guys actually seen, this, I don't know if you guys actually seen the interview, but I did pull up a pretty awesome stinking article that really does cover everything about this entire thing, even talking about what had happened with a pilot in an airplane, even talking a little bit about that. Now, this article came out on November 5th, and let me go ahead and bring up this article. Here we go. All right, so the headline is... And this is from Juna Thunterly. I have absolutely no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But comes from there, and this headline dives into it a little bit. It really does. So, and I know I don't normally do this with reading a lot of this, article, but you know what? There really is a lot of good information in here. It really is. And I'm like, let's just go ahead and read some of this. We're not going to be reading the whole thing. It is kind of long, but here we go. So, a column in The Hill on the growing Let's Go Brandon movement, which is a unique response to what many people view as bias media. It is the modern equivalent of the adoption of Yankee Doodle Dandy by columnists in using what was a contemptuous expression as a rallying cry of defiance. And it goes into the history of this. You know, it really does, which I'm not going to really go through. If you guys do want to, take a look at the article, if you guys want to take a look at this article, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab, and there you will see my article on Flipboard, which is my go-to hub, my one-stop shop for anything, everything, and all things news. And, no, they are not a sponsor, but I really do like what they do over there. So, I do like to throw their stuff out there. Now, the only bad thing about Flipboard, I'm going to be honest with you, even just to read, an article in there, you got to log in. You got to create an account. You got to log in. You got to do that. And I'm not a fan about that. I wish they would actually just let people read it, read some of the articles, read the magazines without actually creating an account and logging in. But at the same time, I do like what they do, and if you are somebody who is interested in the news, there is all kinds of stuff you can find. You can, really customize your own homepage however you want to with all kinds of different things in there. It really is a good place to go to. It is a very good news hub. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this article. In a curious way, Let's Go Brandon has become a similarly unintended political battle cry. It derives from an October 2nd interview with the race car driver Brandon Brown after he won his first NASCAR Xfinity Series race. During the interview, NBC reporter Kelly Stavist's questions were drowned out by loud and clear chants of F Joe Biden. And no, I'm not going to include the word. They don't in here. I'm not going to. Stavis quickly and inexplicably declared, "You can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon." Oh. And here's the thing. If you guys even heard that interview, which I did, you can clearly tell that they're not saying, "Let's go, Brandon." You can clearly hear that they were saying F Joe Biden. You know this. It's not even a question. I mean, it really isn't. The fact that she had to dive so deep and say something so stupid when it was clearly not what they were saying. It was laughable. It really was. I'll continue with the article. Stavis' denial or misrepresentation of the misinterpretation of the obvious instantly became a symbol of what many Americans perceive as media bias in favor of the Biden administration. Indeed, some in the media immediately praised Stavis for her smooth save and being a quick-thinking reporter. But the episode was reminiscent of a reporter standing in front of the burning buildings during the last year's riots and calling them peaceful protests. Indeed, even the original profane chant seemed directed as much at the media as Biden, creating an undeniable backdrop to news coverage. Yes, I agree with everything that paragraph just said. Okay, standing in front of burning buildings, calling them mostly peaceful protests was laughable. You have a burning building right behind you saying that this is peaceful protest. The same thing here. F Joe Biden clearly being heard as a chant from the audience, and she's going, oh, you can hear them going, "Let's go, Brandon." It was laughable. It was stupid. And hello, Machine Radio Show, Eve over there on YouTube land. How you doing? He says, evening. Yes, evening. I'll continue. The three-word slogan is now emblazoned across T-shirts, coffee mugs, and even billboards. An anti-Biden "Let's Go Brandon" hip-hop song hit the top of the charts on iTunes. Soon, there were 4 such songs with the same refrain. The top song was banned on sites like YouTube and Instagram as spreading harmful, false information, yet the effort to bar people from listening to the song only fueled the interest and the movement. And yes, they really did go so far as to ban the song for false information. Harmful, false information. It's like, wait a second. Wait a second here. How is a song making fun of a news reporter's covering up a chant of F Joe Biden by calling it Let's Go Brandon. How is that false information? Because that's exactly what happened. You know, how can you call this false information? The fact of the matter is, they didn't like it. We'll cover more on that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and continue. The media's reaction has fulfilled the underlying narrative too, with commentators growing increasingly shrill in denouncing its use. NPR denounced a chant as vulgar. Let's go, Brandon. How the heck is that vulgar? I have absolutely no idea. While writers at the Washington Post and other newspapers condemned it as offensive. CNN's John Avalon called it not patriotic, while CNN political analysis Joe Lockhart compared it to coded rhetoric from Nazis to Ku Klux Klan, which came from Democrats, by the way, and ISIS. Now, this thing continues, okay? They talk about the, in the next paragraph with the Southwest Air pilot saying, "Let's go, Brandon," as a sign-off at the end of a flight that went from Houston, Texas to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't like going to Albuquerque, to be honest with you. I'm always afraid that I'm going to make that wrong turn and end up in Transylvania. I don't like that. Yes, Brandon. And I am going to get into that here in just a minute. But they talk about, this pilot saying, "Let's go, Brandon," as a sign-off. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Okay. And this is going with what Brandon just said over there in the chat. And that is that it was okay when Robert De Niro said, "F Trump." It was okay for that. It's okay for Colin Kaepernick, which they talk about this in this article as well. I do recommend reading this article. There's a lot of really good information in here. But talking about him kneeling, and one of the things that the writer of the article brings up is that you really shouldn't bring politics to the workplace. And in which case, I completely agree with that. No, you shouldn't. In fact, whenever you become an NFL, player, you agree to, not air your politics. You're not supposed to do things like kneeling. You're not supposed to do these protests. You're not supposed to wear these type of stickers. You're not supposed to do any of that crap. You're not supposed to. But yet they allow it on the left, saying it's okay. But whenever you have a sticker, praising the first responders in certain areas, in certain instances, oh, this is political speech. We can't allow that. And the NFL shut it down. Wait a second. Here's what ticks me off about this entire thing, and it's the hypocrisy of the left. Gee, how can we not be surprised about hypocrisy coming out of the left? But that's what really ticks us off more than anything else. That's exactly what ticks us off more than anything else. It is precisely that. It's the hypocrisy. Let me go ahead and continue with this. Let's Go, Brandon is as much a criticism of the media as it is of President Biden. However, many in the media have embraced advocacy journalism and rejected objectivity in reporting, which is a lie. They don't. They do reject, objectivity. They very much do. Let me go ahead and, they worded that right. They did. In their view, readers and viewers are now to be educated rather than merely informed. No, they're supposed to be indoctrinated. That's what they actually want in the media. That's what they want in schools. It's indoctrination, not education. That's not what they do. That's not what they want. They don't want you to be informed about things of what's going on, which is why they've went as far as they have with other things. Let me go ahead and continue with the article. Okay, many reporters reject both sidesism. I don't even know if that's a word. The need to offer a balanced account of the news. Thus, stories like the Hunter Biden laptop scandal were killed before the 2020 presidential election by Twitter and most media companies. After Biden was elected, some media blatantly confirmed the authenticity of the laptop. Exactly. As they said, one-sidedness. This is what ticks us off about mainstream media. This kind of stuff right here. It's not about giving both sides of the argument. It's not about keeping people informed and up to date on what's going on. It's about protecting one party over another. That's exactly what it is about. We live in an age of unprecedented censorship by private companies. The media has shown that you can have an effective state media without direct regulation by the state, because today's media adheres to common narratives out of ideological or economic interest without the threat of state coercion. I don't exactly agree with that one, though. Because there is some coercion. There is. Okay, there's payoffs to get made. Okay, you have these different companies that show up and they get in bed with government and they become, they become gatekeepers to anybody who wants to come up and possibly dethrone them. We see that kind of stuff all the stinking time. It's no surprise. We see it a lot, But, they got a point in this article, though. It's the hypocrisy from the left. They don't want a fair and balanced, a spread of information. They don't want that. They reject that. Completely reject that. So, there's a couple different articles that I have in here, too. This headline actually made me laugh. Conservatives stopped saying, "Let's go, Brandon," after realizing that it makes liberals sad. Oh, that's horrible. And the bottom line is, and this is a headline that is from, let me go ahead and pull it up because I don't know, Reason. It says, why are the media treating Let's Go Brandon like criminal hate speech? Because that's exactly what they're doing. They're treating it like criminal hate speech. That's what they're doing. It's ridiculous. It really is. Absolutely ridiculous. Moving on. Let me go ahead and close this out. Oh, yep. I can close that out. All right, guys, we are actually going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I return, we are going to talk a little bit about the energy crisis that is going on. We're going to talk a little bit about COP26, a little bit with Greta Thunberg, and that is it, at least for that segment. All right, guys, so just 1 minute. As soon as I find the song, how about this one? All right, just 1 minute, guys, and I will be right back. Have you ever been so full of it your eyes are brown? Have you ever sat on the toilet but nothing comes out? Is a box of frosted shredded wheat just not doing the trick? Well, have I got the ultimate solution for you. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. See, Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse is that particular product that will break through the sphincter like the Kool-Aid Man through a brick wall. Oh yeah! No more irregularity, no more cramping, just good old nice flow. That's right. Tide Pod Brand Colon Cleanse. Please use responsibly and use at home. This is a fast-acting product now available in Tropical Punch. All right, and welcome back. So, guys, we got something else to get into, and this is another one of those laughable things that we've got to talk about. And of course, there's a pop-up on the screen. Yay, gotta love pop-ups. All right, so this headline from the Daily Wire. Biden's energy secretary laughs, then says U.S. at mercy of OPEC. And then Crenshaw fires, our U.S. energy secretary is a joke and a liar. Now, here's the thing of what they're talking about, okay? The energy secretary was asked about, the high fuel, high fuel tax, everything, high fuel tax, the high price of fuel at the pump and other things of that nature. And she laughed saying, what? I don't have a magic wand to fix it. If I do, holy crap, I'd go ahead and wave it. But here's the thing of what they want to ignore. 2 years ago, we were energy independent. 2 years ago, we were drilling our own oil. We had the Keystone XL pipeline. We had, we were actually exporting oil. And prices at the pump were significantly cheaper. I don't remember what the price at the pump is, but I do know that today I filled up my tank after the light came on. And I put like 15 gallons in there, and it cost me over $50. Holy crap, that's a lot. And I feel for people who have bigger tanks than that. I mean, holy crap. I mean, a 15-gallon tank really isn't, comparatively speaking to some other vehicles out there, that's not a lot. Good grief, whenever I prepay for the semi, I'm prepaying for $600. $600. That's a lot. That's a lot. But that's the thing, though. 2 years ago, energy independent. We were exporting oil. Prices were significantly cheaper at the pump. And now, here we are. You have Biden, that one of the first things that he did whenever he was in office is he got his pen in his phone, his magic wand, a pen, and he canceled the Keystone XL pipeline. Canceled it. Shut it down. Not going to do it no more. There we go. So no more of that pipeline taking, from Canada or through Canada on down to Texas. No more of that, okay? No more of that at all. We are actually begging OPEC to increase their oil production. Significantly higher prices at the pumps. And there's also a moratorium, which ties in, okay, this ties in, a moratorium on drilling, mining for rare earth elements, rare earth, okay? Moratorium on that. See, and here's the thing, guys, okay? Here, they're wanting us to basically go green. They're wanting to shut down, all production and usage of fossil fuels, coal, oil. They want to shut it down, the whole thing, okay? Now, here's the thing. Yes, we may have gotten out of the Paris Accord, but here's the thing. In that time frame, regardless of our backing out of the Paris Accord, we lowered our emissions and our carbon footprint in this country a lot. Even backing out of the Paris Accords, we are still the cleanest country on the planet as far as our usage of fossil fuels. Brandon put in here, OPEC is who? Oh, that would be Russia. So who is colluding? Exactly. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that whole collusion thing, But you have, rare earth, which okay. We got a few different things to talk about on this one, okay? One of which being, you can't get rid of oil. You just can't, okay? There are way too many products and industries out there that completely rely on the usage of fossil fuels. I wear glasses. Guess what? It's not made from sand. Polycarbonate, there's plastic in there. That's fossil fuel. Plastics, fossil fuel. Makeup, fossil fuel. A lot of different products that's used out there, fossil fuel, including makeup, fossil fuel. Tires, obviously, fossil fuel. Sports, you guys like sports? Fossil fuels. You know, there's a lot of different things out there that use fossil fuel. You can't just get rid of it. You might be able to, lessen our use of it, but you're not going to completely get rid of it. And even if we do end up going green, we're no longer using coal burning power plants. We're no longer using gas or diesel burning, fossil fuel burning engines. Even if we manage to do that, you guys seen those big old wind turbines, the fans that are out and about, the wind farms? Guess what them things need in order to function and operate properly? You guessed it, oil. You really think you're going to get away with getting rid of all oil use? It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. You can't. It is not going to happen. Okay, and back to kind of the rare earth thing that I was talking about earlier. Okay, now one, all of these turbines and fans and all that other kind of stuff, it's not made in the U.S. It's made somewhere else. These turbines, they're not even, you can't even recycle them. Once they go bad, once they have to get replaced and recycled, well, they can't get recycled. That's the point. They go into a landfill, they get covered up, and they hope that you don't even notice. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen these things driving down the interstate, but these blades are freaking huge. These things are big. There's just no two ways to put it. These things are huge. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but it is impressive on how big these, these wind farm turbines are. And that moves us over into, electric cars. The batteries for them, the processors, the capacitors, and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of other things that goes into that besides just a freaking battery. There's a lot of things that goes into that. Okay. One, you plug your electric car into into an outlet that is getting electricity from a coal burning power plant. We'll just ignore that one for now. Hypocrisy much? Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. We have a lot, and by a lot, I mean a butt ton, and by a butt ton, I mean a lot of rare earth mineable here in the U.S. We have a lot of it. We really do. But what did Biden do? He wrote that moratorium about mining for rare earth. So now we are stuck having to buy this stuff from China. Brandon put in here, he goes, the fallout of this idiocy is enormous. Rampant inflation, demand overrunning supply 5-1. Hope you all like powerful outages and having to keep your house at 60 degrees. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Not going to be driving an overgrown nursing home mobility scooter. That's hilarious. Also seeing rolling bomb. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing, though, guys. I mean, here we have, the rare earths, okay? We had Joe Biden in his first week of presidency shut down the Keystone XL pipeline to where the United States is no longer energy independent, writing a moratorium on mining for rare earth, making us completely and 100% dependent upon other countries, dependent upon China for our, processors, our batteries, our rare earth elements. Russia and other countries that hate us for oil. I mean, we were actually talking with Germany on going, hey, you know what? Why don't you guys buy oil from us instead of buying oil from Russia. And what did Biden do whenever he shut down our oil pipeline? Oh yeah, that's right. He allowed the one to get built over there for Germany from Russia going to Germany. He allowed that to happen, lifted some sanctions and actually signed it, allowed it to happen. And here's the thing, guys, okay? If they're going to tout that this was all done for the sake of our environment, okay? One, we're still buying the oil. I mean, it's not like we can go green today. It's not like we even have the technology to go green tomorrow. It just isn't there yet for us to go green. We are still dependent upon oil. And yes, Machine, he said that we were energy independent. Absolutely, we were. 2 years ago, we were energy independent. Dave, hello over there in Facebook land. Good to see you. He says, I didn't realize you were going on this early. Sorry I missed as much as I did. Hey, that is okay. It was, I've only been on for about a half hour, so you didn't really miss all that much. I'm still really just getting going. So, but yeah, good to see you over there. Good to see you. But we are, we were energy independent, okay? And if this was truly about climate, if this was truly about protecting the planet as they claim that it is, getting rid of the fossil fuels, then why are we, instead of using our own oil, which we are way better to the environment, way cleaner facilities and all that other kind of stuff, okay? We are way better at that than Russia. I mean, it's not like the oil isn't getting used, it is. But instead of us processing the oil, which has way cleaner facilities, better for the environment, we're now doing it, buying it from, Iraq and Russia and other countries like that aren't as clean or as nice and environmentally friendly as we are. Is it about something else? Oh, I'm sure that it is. And Dave Brandon over there says, howdy, Mr. Canyon. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. So I'm sure that you guys heard about the COP26, our lovely president falling asleep during one of the speeches and having to get woke up by one of his aides, and I tell you what, there is some awesome, hilarious things to talk about with this climate change, this climate summit that they went to over in Europe. Okay, this was absolutely hilarious. Okay, one, of course, yes, he did. Our president Joe Biden, did beg OPEC to increase production of oil, while on this, this climate change thing, Okay. But Greta Thunberg, she said, and I got to include this in because this is absolutely hilarious, okay? COP26 is a failure. Greta Thunberg, I can't say her name for some. Greta, you guys know Greta. Hold on. Where's it at? Oh, no. Oh, here it is.
How dare you?
Yeah, her.
How dare you?
Yeah, I knew I had that in there somewhere. She said that the climate summit has turned into a PR event. And I tell you what, she ain't lying either. She is not lying. This whole thing did turn into a Machine put it in here. He goes, Greta, you mean weather potato? Yes. Weather potato. Yeah, she said that this whole thing has turned into a PR event, and that's exactly what this thing amounts to. It's a PR event for these guys, okay? One, I'm going to demonstrate how these people don't believe a single word that they actually say about climate change. They don't believe any of it, okay? Let me give you some facts about this. The president, okay, at a climate change thing, whatever. at a climate change function, tour, if you will. All right. The president had an 85 vehicle convoy. There were hundreds of private jets that these people used in order to get from A to B around where they were at, okay? Now, here's the thing. Like I said, that these people do not believe a single word that comes out of their mouth with climate change and everything else, okay? They don't believe any of it. Let me go ahead and demonstrate to you as to how I know this, all right? How many of these people actually live, well, okay, one, 85 vehicle convoy for the president, all of them flying private jets, hundreds of them. If they really cared about the environment, would they be burning up and using this much fossil fuel? I heard a number that was like 2.5 million tons, I believe, of fossil fuels or of a carbon footprint that was used during this, this summit. That's holy crap. 2.5 million something. Okay, 2.5 million pounds maybe. I don't know. A lot. Let's just put it this way. It was a lot. Would they have done all that if they were actually concerned about the environment, if they actually believed anything that they've seen? Now, I've seen pictures from like 100 plus years ago and like, the water line on different things in exactly the same place. Ocean lines, ocean depths aren't going up. They're not going down. They've been pretty, pretty stable. Pretty steady, not much change going on at all, but yet they want you to change everything about your life while they consider to do everything that they have been doing. Yeah. Okay. And how many of these people still live close to the coast? That's the thing. If what they say is true, which, here's another reason why we don't believe anything that they say on it is because they've been saying the same thing for a very long time. Oh, the world's going to end. It should have ended like 5 times according to 5 different predictions that these people have had. Global warming, global cooling, this, that, and the other. But instead, we've had some minor changes, nothing major. We've had the ocean hasn't been rising. You can see that and verify that in really old pictures and more modern pictures, of today and, 200 years ago. No change. Over 100 years ago. No change. No change. But these people, they're still living close to the ocean. And if what they say is right, you're going to have the melting of the ice caps, which is going to, make the ocean levels rise. Now the coastline is underwater. So if these people actually believed, last prediction was like in 2020, 2022 even, I don't even know. Like I said, there's been like 5 different predictions in recent history of, when everything is going to just go to hell. But they still have these really extravagant houses on the coastline that if they actually believed the crap that they were saying, they wouldn't have these houses. Why? Because in a few years, they'll be underwater. Now they're out of their property. So do you really think that they believe the BS is coming out of their mouth? Fact of the matter is they don't. And another reason how I know is, do they change their style of their lavish travel and lifestyle? Do they change that at all? No, they don't. Like I said, they don't even believe the BS is coming out of their own mouth. That's just a fact of the matter. They don't. They don't. All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break. And when I return, we are going to talk a little bit about the Virginia and the New Jersey election. We're going to be talking about the arrest that was made with the Durham probe, the Steele dossier. We're going to be talking about, the pandemic mandate. We're going to be talking about the infrastructure bill. We got quite a few different things to talk about, and we will get into that right after this. Don't go nowhere. Do you love your occasional Mexican dish or your musical fruit? Are you tired of walking by family members and crop dusting them? Well, if this has ever happened to you, might I introduce you to Tampons brand butt plugs. Tampons brand butt plugs is that particular type of butt plug that allows you to walk in public in confidence knowing that you're not going to accidentally crop dust somebody. Tampons brand butt plugs now with the plastic applicator.
Not just for women anymore.
Tampons brand butt plugs. All right, and we are back. So, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about these elections that took place, one in Virginia and also about the one in New Jersey. And I tell you what, guys, this is hilarious. I mean, it really is, okay? Now, here's the thing, okay? Virginia and New Jersey. Biden won Virginia by 15 points? He won by double digits, you know. And this entire race was neck to neck. It really was, okay? Neck to neck. The guy refused, the Democrat incumbent, he refused to concede the race. Refused to. All right. And he's claiming, is it Virginia? Is it Virginia or is it New Jersey? I don't remember which. One of them, they're claiming racism is to blame for this upset. That's one of the things that they're blaming. Okay. Now, here's one of the things. See, they copied the playbook from 2020. That's one of the things that they did, okay? They copied the playbook. What did they do? In the middle of the night, again, they accidentally, one of the poll workers accidentally shut down the voting machine, and then, and whenever it was shut down, the Republican was ahead by 4 points, 5 points, not a lot, but still ahead. And this was after 100% of the precincts had reported. And then all of a sudden, whenever the machines got turned back on, it swung, flip-flopped the other direction to where now the Democrat was ahead X amount of points. They just magically found votes. Holy crap. Now, here's the thing. I know in Virginia that this is still not over. Okay, we're probably not going to know, the actual results of this until, Monday. I hadn't heard anything about it today, because I know that even though the election was done on Tuesday, as long as they received by Friday all of the ballots that were postmarked for Tuesday, then they were still going to count them. And the same thing for New Jersey as well. Same thing for New Jersey. Now, New Jersey, the state Senate incumbent, he lost to a complete newcomer, a newcomer that was a truck driver, a truck driver that only spent $2,300 on his campaign. That is how bad people are. That's how mad people are about the Democrat Party right now. I mean, nothing is working. Their agenda isn't working. Okay, you have inflation out the wazoo. You have, the high gas price. You have low labor participation rates due to the pandemic. You have, you have these vaccine mandates. You have the government just, paying people to stay at home. None of this is working. You have backups at the ports. You got food shortages coming. I mean, guys, I have been hearing some things coming across that just, you think things are bad now in some of these bigger cities? You ain't seen nothing yet. It's about to get a whole lot worse. John Deere for 3 weeks or 3 months? I don't remember. Let me see if I can't find that here. I have absolutely no idea. I am not seeing. Yeah, I don't see. But, they've been on strike at John Deere facility for quite some time. 3 weeks, 3 months. I don't remember which. It was 3 something, on strike. What is this going to do to farmers? What is this going to do to be able to repair some of that stuff? You've got a lot of people that, get newer equipment or do nothing more than leasing equipment. And these, machines, these tractors, these combines, these hoppers, these planters, they need constant maintenance, constant upkeep. These things are run into the dirt, in some cases, literally. They need constant maintenance. What is this going to do for farmers? And I can tell you with the industry that I work in, things are slowing down. I am basically in a recession-proof type of a job. And I'm not just talking the industry in general. I'm talking, what it is that I haul and to whom that we haul them to. Okay? It's basically a recession-proof kind of thing. Even we have seen, a rollback in production. We've seen it. And guys, from us, that's bad. I'm not going to tell you what it is that I do, who I haul for, and what it is. But let's just say it's like the first step in food production. Let's just say that's what it is. It's the first step in food production. If we slow, that's bad. And this is food production that basically is it's got its fingers everywhere. Okay? It's bad. Got a text message, just checking and coming when you're done with it. Yeah. When you talk, I think, Okay. Yeah, all right. So yeah, it's it's bad, okay? And there's I think it's about a 3 month, or maybe a 45-day waiting period right now for, trucks to get offloaded in the ports. Guys, it's just bad. It really is. It really is. But this election in Virginia, in New Jersey, it really was people were crying out. People are getting ticked about what's going on. One of the things that this pandemic has done, and I've said it once, I'll say it again, is it has put this not on the back burner of people's minds. It's put it right in the forefront. We can't ignore what's going on anymore. It's part of our society now. It's part of our culture. It used to be something that we could just ignore. And a lot of people did. How do you think it's gotten so bad? How do you think we've lost so many of our freedoms over the past 50 plus years? It's because people haven't been paying attention. They thought that these representatives that they elected and sent to Washington had our interests in mind, as it is supposed to be, instead of having their own interests in mind and not giving two shits about us, because that's what's actually been going on. That is exactly what has been going on. And that's how you've had in New Jersey, the state Senate president loses to a truck driver who spent no more than $2,300 on his campaign, a referendum on the Democrat Party. In Virginia, it was neck to neck. They're claiming racism. And the funny thing about them claiming racism, you have the first black woman that got elected on the statewide election for lieutenant governor. A Cuban was even elected in the whatever office. So here you have, the party of racists and racism in the Republican Party. We won't talk about the founding of the KKK being from the Democrat Party. We won't talk about that. But this is from the Republican Party. I mean, if the Republicans are racist, we are really crappy at it. I mean, we are. Electing a black woman lieutenant governor, Cuban in there. I mean, the fact of the matter is Republicans don't care about race and gender. We care about the issues. We care about how you are going to govern. That's more or less the bottom line. That's what it amounts to. But somehow they can't get this through their thick head. All right, moving on, guys. Moving on. Okay, I got to talk about this one because, guys, this is information that is, there's a lot that I'm talking about today that is just going to make your blood boil. And this is one of them. Okay, this is very much one of them. Let me go ahead and pull up a couple articles and get ready for this one. And we'll get into that later. Nope. Nope. Oh, that's funny. Why did this actually go and reorder itself? I have no idea. Yeah, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Oops. Oh, come on. We'll open that one up in a new window. Dadgummit. I really do hate this stuff whenever this thing, it does this to me. I hate it. I really do. There we go. Open link in new tab. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. There's that one. And there's got to be another one in here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get into this. Yeah, there's another one that I'm wanting. Okay. All right. I've got it all now. I apologize for the wait. I didn't want to take another break. Not right now. All right, so this headline is from Axios. Now, the headline is, House passes the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, sending it to Biden's desk. And apparently Biden went ahead and he signed this stinking thing. I don't remember what time exactly that they did it, but they finally got it passed. The $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. And I guess there was like 14 or 16 Republicans that voted for this as well. So, you guys can take a look at that article and find out which one that one is. Okay. But this thing is freaking horrible. This was another one of those, you got to pass it to find out what's in it because they couldn't even tell you how much this thing was actually going to cost. In fact, they were lying to the American people and trying to tell us that, yes, this is a $1.2 trillion bill, but it's not going to cost the American taxpayers anything. It's going to be zero cost to the American taxpayer. Do they actually expect us to believe that load of malarkey? I mean, do they really? Because I'm kind of curious about that. How can you expect people to believe that a $1.2 trillion tax bill, spending bill, is going to cost the American taxpayers zero? How are you going to fund it? Where are you going to get the money from? That's the question. And not only are they doing that, they're also doing some pretty stupid stuff, okay? Really, really stupid stuff. Here's this article from Cron. I don't know. Anyway, headline is, Ted Cruz and Chris Murphy clash on Twitter over payments to families separated at the border. Republicans demand answers from Garland on reported $450,000 payments to illegal aliens. Now, here's the funny thing about this. And this isn't funny. This is pathetic. Let me just go ahead and word that correctly. Okay. $450,000 payments there's a spiffy name they threw in here. Not reciprocity. Whatever. Like we owed illegal aliens money for separating families at the border whenever they came over here, whenever they chose to come over here illegally. You see, we have a legal process by which to enter America and spend any time here. We have a legal process by which to do that. And if you don't do it that way, then that's illegal. And if you are an American citizen and you break the law to the point to where, you got arrested, there's going to be some jail time in here. Has never been in the history of this country for a citizen to be able to stay with his family throughout the entire process, incarceration, arrest, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't happen because as part of the legal proceedings is, you get incarcerated, you go to jail, you get separated from your family. But for some reason, these people who choose to come here illegally with their families feel for some reason that they are special and that they shouldn't get removed from their families at all. And so they have been suing America $450,000 for, each person. So, I mean, if that's a family, you're talking over $1 million getting paid out. And who pays for that? Oh, yeah, that's right. You and I do. And Brandon, you make a good point over there in YouTube. He says, and how many child trafficking cases were found? They forget this. Oh, it's actually worse than that. It's worse than that, okay? Because one of the things that we have been wanting to do as part of our, ICE agents, our enforcement, our Border Patrol agents, one of the things that they're wanting to do is do DNA testing on these in order to ensure that the children who are coming across with these parents are actually their parents, looking for familiar DNA, whatever they want to call it, looking for that. Oh, you can't do that. The left has shut them down for actually making sure that there's not illegal child trafficking going on, to make sure and protect these children whom we care oh so much about, that they're not child traffickers, that their parents aren't child traffickers. What we were wanting to do is to ensure that they were actually their parents. That these parents that were coming over with these children, that they were actually their children. But, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. Oh, but it gets better. Here you have these, these vaccine mandates that you have to get it or you can't be employed. But these illegal aliens that are coming over, oh, they don't have to be vaccinated. They don't have to be forced to be vaccinated. Not at all. It's okay that they're not vaccinated. Oh, but you can't work if you don't want to get vaccinated. You have, the ICE agents that, we can't be expected to go and round up people that, we're not going to go to a place of employment and check everybody's papers. That would just be overreach. We can't do that. We can't afford to do that. We don't have the manpower to do that. But what's OSHA talking about doing? Oh, yeah. They're talking about going to businesses and walking into them randomly and going, let me see your papers. Prove to me your vaccine status. Wait a second. You mean to tell me that we can't enforce immigration laws on illegal aliens because it's way too costly, way too expensive? We can't do it. But yet we can enforce an unconstitutional, that means illegal, not even a law, it's a mandate, unconstitutional ruling Yeah. I mean, really? How can you enforce one but not enforce the other? Since when is being a United States citizen not even rated as a second-rate citizen anymore? Used to be citizenship actually meant something. Not anymore. You have more rights in this nation as a criminal and as an illegal alien than what you do as an actual citizen. I hear what you're saying. I really do. He says, okay, Adolf, come on into my place of business unannounced and try that shit. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. I really do. $450. And Biden says that migrants who lost children at the border, they deserve compensation. Yeah, that's apparently what he said. They deserve compensation? No, they deserve to go back home. They shouldn't have ever come over here in the first place. And since we're talking about, tax dollars and different things of that nature, there's a couple more articles that I want to talk about. One of which, with big old tax breaks for the rich. Okay. Let me go ahead and find that article. Because this one is, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come on, man. Tax cuts for the rich. Where you at? Nope, that's not it. 10,000. Oh, yeah. Hey, here we go. 10,000 John Deere workers have been on strike for 3 weeks. That's the one I was looking for earlier. Virginia, changing taxes, government does that. Nope, that's not it. Man, where's it at? Where'd it go? You know what? Let me go ahead and play a little bit of music here. This ain't gonna take me long. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm not even showing the video. I'm just looking for a sticking article. There it is. I found it. Holy crap. As soon as I start playing music, and the funny thing is it was actually right above the other article that I just opened up. Okay, so here's two different articles I want to get into right quick. Two different articles. One of them is about, well, we'll just go ahead and look at this. Democrats are planning to give wealthy taxpayers a huge windfall of cash, a big old tax cut. See, here you have the party of, let me go ahead and go back on that picture. You guys remember this one, the whole tax the rich thing that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wore at this, that big old event that she was in. Yeah, you guys remember that. Here's a big old tax, now this is the thing, a tax break for the rich whenever the Democrats try to say that, we're not for the rich, we're not for that at all. Now, see, here's what happened. Okay, here's what happened. Here's what happened. Oh, holy crap, you wrote a book in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brandon put in here, he goes, by the way, to all the people out there, I am unvaccinated. 2 speeches, 3 rallies, hanging out with 35,000 of my fellow jarheads at the mecca of motorsports for 2 days, and a World War II reenactment with 10,000 people. I am still here, natural immunity. Absolutely. Absolutely. But here you have tax the rich. The Democrats try to claim that they are not the party of the rich. They don't, that's not them, that the Republicans, however, are the party of the rich. But you see, during the Trump administration, one of the things that they did was they got rid of a loophole that allowed a rich person to claim their state taxes on their federal taxes. And what they basically said was, well, this is actually kind of Bravo Sierra, because why should Florida, who has no state income tax, be expected to subsidize the taxes of somebody who lives in California who has high state taxes, or New York, or any state like that? I mean, this is really, really good. You know, if you live in a red state, this is really good for you, and it really, really sucks for a state like Florida that actually does it right and doesn't even have to have state income tax. So that whole, we're not the party of the rich, that's one of the things that the Democrats reinstated. That's one of the things they reinstated. Absolute crap. Absolute crap. So, I mean, here we are with some of the, biggest amount of debt that a single administration has ever done. I mean, this is the largest bill that this country has ever seen. And it's like, and we're giving huge tax breaks to people whom we said that we're not going to give tax breaks to. I mean, that's what the Democrat Party said. They're not going to give them tax breaks. Not at all. And then you have this article. This is from the Mises Institute. The madness of taxing unrealized capital gains. Now, this is one of the things that they are doing to you and me. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys have really been paying attention to the housing market. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to, what things look like on a car lot. But things are not really looking good. They're really not. We're not able to, a lot of car lots out there are empty. A lot of people are, a lot of, dealers are offering top dollar for trade-in vehicles. Okay. They are really, really expensive right now. And then you have, this headline, the madness of taxing unrealized capital gains. See, here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. This is what they're doing. Okay. Unrealized capital gains. What does this mean? Well, simply put, okay, let's say you bought a house for $20,000 on this year. Next year, that house is now worth $50,000. Now, you still live in that house, you still own that house, but now the value of that house has gone up over 100%. You now have to pay taxes on that $30,000 increase of your unrealized capital gains, meaning you haven't sold that house. You don't have that money, but it is now part of your net worth. Now you got to pay taxes on it. Unrealized capital gains. That's one of the things that they're talking about. And they're not just talking about that with houses. They're talking about that with cars, with your 401ks, your IRAs, your stock markets, all of that. Here's the thing, guys. I don't know if you're aware of this, but, you throw money into the pot in the stock market. You throw your money in there, okay? You buy a stock for $200, all right? That goes up to $400. Did you just double your money? No. You haven't done jack with your money. You bought stock at $200. It might be worth $400 today, but until you sell, you haven't gained anything. And now, the federal government wants you to pay taxes on that money that you haven't gained, that is still in the stock market. It's not actually yours. It might be part of your net worth, but you haven't pulled that money out yet. And until you pull that money out yet, you don't have that money. And on the flip note, you buy stock for $200 and it drops down to $100. Did you just lose $100? No. Why haven't you lost $100? Because you haven't pulled the money out yet. And, until you sell that stock, the worth of it today, in a matter of speaking, doesn't really matter. Again, it's part of your net worth. It really is. But they're talking about taxing everybody for their unrealized capital gains. Now, here's my question, and this is a question that we haven't been able to get out of the left, and that is, so, if I am in the camp that has something that doubles in value, then obviously you're telling me I have to pay the difference in taxes because that's an unrealized gain. But here's the question, okay? Let's say that drops 50%. Do I have to, do you pay me for my unrealized loss? That's a really good question. Is the government going to pay you as a tax cut for your unrealized capital losses? I mean, if they're doing this for capital gains, they want you to pay that money to them. Then obviously they should pay that money out for capital losses, but they're not wanting to do that. They're not going to tell you whether they're doing that. Machine put in here, goes extortion. Absolutely. This is a one-way street that doesn't do anything but benefit government. Have you guys ever wondered, have you guys noticed that's what the federal government does? Every single thing that they do is to better themselves. Not you, not me, even though that's the way it's supposed to be. It betters only them. We're going to move on, guys. We are moving on. Let me go ahead and get rid of all of that crap. And now there is something else that we are going to talk about. And then we're actually going to call it quits. So I have this article that I've seen. And this was, I'm looking for it. You know what? Let's go ahead and continue with this here music. We're going to do this while I look for this article. It won't take me but a couple seconds. Holy crap, are you kidding me? Really? I found it like that quick again? All right, so here we go, guys. Let me go ahead and, kill the music. Again, I get the music going and then, there it is. Woo! Okay, so anyway, here's the article, and this is from USA Today. Not tomorrow, but USA Today. Senator Rand Paul calls for Anthony Fauci to resign in latest clash over origins of COVID-19, over the whole, gain of function research, okay? Calls for him to resign. Now, here is somebody who has been on the government dole since 1970s. I don't remember exactly when he got into government, got his position, but 1970s. That's a long time. That's a long time. I think everybody could agree that's a long freaking time. But here they keep going round and round, and instead of, Senator Rand Paul, I tell you what, I love him on this. I really do. Okay. Because he is holding Fauci's feet to the fire. There's no other way to word it. That's exactly what he's doing. Saying, hey, look, here you are in control of money here. And this money went to that place. And we have records proving it. And then that place sent their money over to Wuhan Labs. And that money was used on gain of function research. It's been... it's been confirmed. That's what it was used for. See, because what they did is they took this coronavirus and they added some stuff to it. They manipulated it and it gained the function of infecting people, which prior to them messing around with it, it didn't have the ability to do. Not only that, but it also increased its morbidity rate, making it more deadly. Now, here was one of the things that Dr. Fauci was arguing about. It was like, gain of function research is more about just gaining the function of this, that, and the other. It's also about morbidity rates and what have you. Well, here we have all the information, all the documentation. We can prove all of this crap now. Yes, you took the virus. You paid for, through these people, the research that did the gain of function research that took this novel coronavirus that didn't affect humans. You gave it the ability to affect humans. You've made it more deadly to humans than what it was to the animal that it originally affected. And now you're going to argue with me over semantics, saying that, oh, you're just too stupid to understand what gain of research is? Hello? I'm sure you guys have heard the whole, if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, if it swims like a duck, it's a freaking duck. I'm sure you guys have heard the adage of a rose by any other name still smells as sweet. I'm sure y'all have heard that. What does that mean? Simply put, it doesn't matter what you call it. Some things are what they are. You is what you is, as they say. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. This is still a piece of paper. I don't care what you want to call it. It's a piece of paper. It is what it is. You can split hairs of it's got printing on it and it's 3 sheets stapled together, single-sided printing. You can argue, the details, but it's still a piece of paper. You can't really argue that. You can laminate it. Does that change it? No. Is it still a piece of paper? Abso-freaking-lutely it is. You can't really argue that. It is what it is. And here you have gain of function, which is research that takes something that has one function, it adds to it another function that it didn't previously have, and that is gain of function research. And I don't care if it even didn't actually increase the effectiveness of the virus, making it more deadly to people. Either way you look at it, by making the virus to where it can now affect people when it previously didn't, that's making it more deadly to people. Arguing semantics over this. He's basically telling us, instead of breaking it down and going, hey, look, okay, here's the thing. Okay, you don't understand what's going on here. This is what we did. Let me break it down in layman's term because I feel you're stupid enough to understand this. Because that's what he's saying is you're just too stupid to understand what we were doing. Instead of defending his point like he should be, if he truly believed in what it is that he was doing, that's what he would be doing, is defending his point, but he's not. He's not breaking it down for me and going, hey, look, okay, you don't understand what actually took place. Let me go ahead and break it down to you. That's not what he's doing. Instead, Dr. Fauci is the 2-year-old for what he really is. All he's doing is name calling and saying, you're just too stupid to understand what is going on. You see, smart people don't speak high and mighty and convoluted. Smart people don't do that. Why? Because they know that they're intelligent. So they break it down for the stupid people so the stupid people can understand it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Constitution. Let me whip mine out. It's pretty small. Not very big. Not at all. It was dumbed down so stupid people can understand it. So you and me can understand what our rights were. You look at the tax code and it takes an army of IRS agents. It takes an army of lawyers and accountants in order to dive into it and actually see what's going on here. The Constitution, you can read it in about, 20 minutes? Doesn't take long. That's what smart people do, is they break it down for you because they want average, everyday people to be able to understand what it is that's going on. Dr. Fauci is a moron that doesn't deserve to be where it is that he is. Because he's not even willing to defend what it is that he did because he knows that what he did was wrong. He knows what he did was wrong. I mean, that's just, there's no other way to put it. And here's the thing, if it wasn't for, and I'm sorry I'm going into the COVIDs. I really am. I'm because this has been going on long enough. It really has been. It really has been. But none of this crap has made any sense. I mean, if it was about our safety, wouldn't they be wanting to vaccinate illegal aliens too? Yeah. If it was actually about public safety, wouldn't they have been mad about people rioting instead of people going to a rally and calling that a super spreader event? Yeah. If it was actually about truth, yeah. Because I mean, you're not going to sit there and tell me that the COVID virus is so woke that it knows the difference between people who are at a rally, a Trump rally, and people that are at a riot. No, the virus doesn't care what it is that you're doing. But yet the people who were making the rules cared. And that's why they allowed you to do one and denying you the freedom to do another. Yeah. You know, guys, that's really all I got for you today. That is it. There are still some more articles over there in the show. If you guys want to check those out, again, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab, and there you will see that article on Flipboard. And you guys can check out all of those articles. I think there are like 60 some odd articles in there, 65 articles in there. Oh yeah, there's a lot. You know, I only use a handful of them. The rest of them I use in there for just so that this way y'all can look at other views and other stuff that is in there. So yeah. All right, guys. So that is all I have for today. Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. I do thank you very much for tuning in and joining and being part of the conversation. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, guys. You all have yourself a wonderful day. Good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite them back. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head to thehohoshow.com. And for the merchandise store, you can head on over to stinkpickle.com. That is stinkpikle.com. Until next time.